that was exactly, it was at the a naval base in Seattle. I think it was Whidbey Island Naval Air Station, I think. But anyways, with Naval Air Station up there, where these civilians got onto the base and got into something, and they saw something they weren't supposed to see, and this group came out and went into their home and scared the dickens out of them and
staged an alien event.
Exactly. Sensitive, very sensitive. Yeah, that and some of the other things that we did in recruiting people. One of the things that you want to do to protect a base is recruit people outside the base to report into the base. So when I was at Kirtland, we had, I didn't do this, but we had a whole group of we call them swindlers, who could recruit anybody. And they went out and recruited primarily press people, because they're the ones that are going to know first. So every news agency, every television, radio station in the Albuquerque or Santa Fe area had our snitches in there. So we knew, and we paid them. We paid them good money. One of the reasons you get the people is you pay them, and that was controversial. That was somewhat controversial.
Do you know of national media that have had?
Oh, yes, yeah. I'm not going to name them, but we had one. We had one out of, or she was recruited out of a local station here in Albuquerque, and then she went on to a national, NBC, and she was still. She told us everything. She was. We didn't handle her. Somebody closer to, I think she would say out of Washington handled her, but she was. She would tell us things that were going to happen, and yeah.
Were these also assets that could help stop stories from coming out?
Yes. Yeah, and it wasn't just UFOs. It was anything that pertained to Air Force or military or the security of the base or spying or anything like that. If they heard something they thought would be interesting, we needed to know, they let us know.
And the other way around, that they would help, you had people who could help stop it from being brought.
Yes. Yeah, the high level producers and directors. Yeah.
And how were they paid for that?
Cash. Yeah, you pay. What you do is you make them sign a form and you tell them, you got to report this to IRS. But whether they do it or not, you're not going to give your form to IRS. But you're supposed to tell them that. There's a form that they sign, and you give them. I think it's anything over. Was everything over $50 they had to sign for? We always had money. If we needed to do something, we had money. There was different funding. We call them funding sites. If you were doing an operation, a counterintelligence operation, and you needed, $5,000 for this, then they would give us a number. Okay, it's under this site, and somebody would deposit it in a bank here, and we would use that money, or they would give us vouchers or something to that effect. But there would be different funding sources. I'm not sure where they came from. I'm sure all government funding, someplace up there. Congress appropriates the funds, and there's a lot of black projects and black funding, so I'm sure we got a piece of that.
So I was just getting ready to ask you about Bechtel Corporation, the involvement you had with them, or their involvement with this subject.
Bechtel was in charge of security and operations at a number of facilities, including the Nevada test site, and one of their chief security officers was a former colleague of mine who worked at Kirtland with me. And Bechtel, there was a lot of experiments done at the Nevada test site, which is of course now the Nevada National Security Site, regarding UFO research of alien reverse engineering. Well, they were trying to I think Sandia Labs had a project, had funding to delve into this time travel, whether you could go back in time or forward in time. And they built facilities out there to test different things. Huge magnets. I think they had one of the underground magnets, and they were shooting lasers and things through them, trying to open up a fabric of space in order to do time travel. And I watched a number of those things. I was briefed on a counterintelligence project out there, but I don't know whatever the outcome of it was. I don't know if they ever figured it out or not.
How about any experiments that you hear of or come across experiments dealing with so-called teleportation or moving across space in a non-linear way?
That was part of this project that they were doing out there. They actually, I think, teleported something from one end of a table to the other.